Good day. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, and we're at the 10th of January 2022, about 6:40 p.m. Central Time. So the stock market down a little bit again tonight. It did attempt a nice little rally today at the end of the day, and now it's got a churn. You know, tomorrow we're going to get Fed Chair Powell in front of the Senate, banking and one other committee that he's got to talk before for the nomination. They're going to rip him apart. You know that. I know that. It's okay. Fed Vice Chair Clarita resigns. He'll be out of office on the 14th. And he was going to stay until the 31st, but this has to do with Fed members trading their own stock portfolio, which has got to be stopped. That is very wrong. It's one of the few things I ever agree with Elizabeth Warren on, our Senator Warren. But you can't have people making policy decisions also trading their stock account. If you want to be in that glorious position of the Fed, and nobody's saying you have to take it, I think your monies have to go into a blind trust. That's simple. You have no say in what goes on. Retire from the Fed. You take over, do whatever you want. I agree with her on that one. So as we look at the markets, I can see a little bit of a pause to this break. Now, if you're a subscriber of mine in the morning, I was talking today cover short, cover short, cover short. The facts in the different paid subscriber video, and that's what I was doing. You'll see why in a moment here. And I didn't care if it was going lower. If you've taken the enhanced Bollinger Band course, which is at the end of this, I give you a little ad on it. You understand the theory of the first time you hit a Bollinger Band. It depends. Are you coming out of your whole position the first time or half, depending on do you have an embedded reading and what to do. And I teach it in detail. It's not hard to grasp. And I think it's good steed for you. So as we look at gold, gold is still stuck in this sideways action, just staying over the 18-week average of closes, which means it also has a bullish bias. Bias is defined on a daily, a weekly chart. I don't care what the chart. If you're over the 18 period, in this case, the period's the weekly charts, the bias is up. If this were the daily chart, then the bias is up on that. The market is caught in distribution. You're really not doing an awful lot one way or the other right through here. When we put the swing line on, you still have a pattern of lower highs, lower lows. So in theory, the trend is still down. The resistance is right where you're at, the 200-day, the 18. And the market slipped down through the 100 and then stalled at it for these 2 days and went back up to the other averages. And the Bollinger Band, in the meantime, is doing this. I'm going to wrap my arms around you and dropping resistance and support levels down. Looks to me like you want to fight battles at the 18-day average. But will gold eventually bite on the apple, just the way it did at the beginning of last year, and say inflation is here, I want to make a move to the upside? That's the big question that the gold bulls are waiting on. Right now, it's not there. Momentum is flat, bias down, trend down, objective right through here with resistance where we're at. In the gold-silver ratio, silver is still trading in terms of the ratio over the 18-day average of closes. Therefore, the bias in the market favors gold being stronger than silver. In silver, you'll notice you couldn't even get to the lower Bollinger Band. The trend has been down. Resistance on the rally, I view it at 2275.5 level. You really have to clear this high right here in order to negate this bearish pattern. That number is 2330. That's an awful big risk from if you were going to sell at 2270 to that number. I don't think you're going to attract the bears in this market. I think they're going to walk away because of the dollar risk. I think they need a tighter range. In the copper market, temporarily, we have lower highs, lower lows. Now, a couple of warnings here. Copper has a lot of headwinds going against it because Omicron is spreading like wildfire in China, and China consumes half the world's copper. And in China, I think it's February 1st or so, begins the Chinese New Year and everything shuts down anyways again there. They'll come out of that Chinese New Year probably out of the Omicron event simply because of timing. You know, you take how many cases you get, how many days people stay sick, those that die in hospitals, blah, blah. But they don't tell you all that in China. You know that. Everything's hidden. But the way they do it, time will be on their side. So we'll see what happens there. If we do take out today's high, this was an outside day down. So if you were to get up over 443.10 tomorrow, that's be Tuesday or Wednesday. Those are the 2 days I care about. I think you could be up wherever that Bollinger Band is going. Lickety split, is this would be a bear pattern. Therefore, the bears are probably selling here, defending it, not doing that. That's my guess. Major support, 434, the 100-day average, and if that gives ground, the lower Bollinger Band. In the platinum, you are void of trend. You have a higher high. You peaked out against that upper Bollinger Band, fell back. Now you don't have a trend. I just see a wandering market. In the palladium market, when we lost the embedded reading, it often sets up a test of the 18-day average, and I still think that can happen. I'm be wrong in my thinking if you take out this day's high. The highest high we made after you lost the embedded reading, right afterwards, that would be the number that's no. It's not going to do that. Should the market rally right now and not break, the next resistance, though, is the 100-day average at 2007.45. In the dollar index, still in a minor downtrend now. Lower highs, lower lows. I don't like how narrow these Bollinger Bands are, but the market is in a downtrend. I think the pros are selling short at 96.15 with a straight stop right up here at 96.41. It's not a big risk for them. If they get right, maybe the lower Bollinger Band, just the way it did here, gets hit, and I think they step out of the trade. So you put it together, you're trying to come up with a game plan, and I think enhanced Bollinger Bands. I call them not just Bollinger Bands, enhanced, because I enhance them and teach you how to work with momentum on them. Take a look at this. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.